Well, good evening and welcome back to Dragon of Icespire Peak. We are coming back from a week-long stint of being absent. So previously, you all had made your way back to Fandalin, um, and celebrated a return. And I believe the plan now is to head into the dwarven fortress of Axholm to clear it out for the citizens of Fandalin to take shelter in. Is my understanding of that correct?
Mhm.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, the last time we left off, I believe everybody was returned to the Stonehill Inn, minus your new companion Urk, who is out and about. So we're going to pick up the morning after. Uh, as if tickling memories that seem so distant for you all, even though it's really realistically only been a week um, since you were last here. You all wake up to the smell of Fiora's and Toblin's wonderful cooking. Uh, who amongst you wakes up first? My money is on Reginald or Thorn, but I will let you all decide.
Thorn definitely wakes up to the smell of food, so she'd be up pretty early, if not almost instantaneously, as soon as she smelled food.
Yeah, I feel like Reginald would probably be up already, but maybe not necessarily like have left his room. So
Uh, doing anything interesting in your room by yourself that it doesn't involve, masturbation or other fun activities? I'm sorry, private activities, I'll say.
um, probably some more tinkering and working on trying to devise this magical trap kind of thing that am trying to work out in terms of a lure slash trap to replicate my father's work.
Alrighty then. Will you just roll a d20 on the board for me?
I can do that.
Everything is highlighted for some reason. How do I fix? There we go.
Assumedly, a 17 was good.
Yes, it's good. You make progress. I have a method of that I'm trying to do this, and I guess I didn't consider odds versus evens in solo work. Uh, the mechanics of which are if you're working solo, you're working at half the speed, so I'm having the progress that you make. So uh, you're working towards a grand total with these d20s. So
Got it.
yeah, a 17 would be what, 8.5, so 9. That's what we're gonna call it.
Fair enough.
No, I'm not gonna tell you what the grand total is. It's not 100.
I didn't assume it would have been.
I would have. So you actually wake up in the morning and just start working. Reginald, the workhorse, taking notes and formulating schematics. But you do make a little bit of progress. You solve through some magical equations and are greeted as you work to the smell of, oh, the standard fare, cooking bacon and hams and, you know, the norm, which is almost immediately followed by a thunk as Thorn rolls out of bed and as Thorn, I imagine you're making your way downstairs at the smell of food.
Absolutely. Thorn is scrabbling downstairs across the banister, and she uh, slides down the railing of the stairs like it's a tree trunk. Like you just hear it.
Well, the room is empty. Uh, it's still fairly early, but your usual table is open. And upon hearing you scrape the banister that he just got done, taking care of and polishing, he comes out with a big old heavy sigh. Rats in the basement.
Mm, this
And
poor man.
It's fine. It'll buff out. It's not a big deal.
It'll buff out. That's some high quality sandpaper he's gonna need.
polish your banister.
Ooh. I'll tell you a good story when we're done tonight too from this weekend.
Oh
Get a
no!
good talk about it.
Somebody polish your banister.
No.
What a segue!
No, it was just the way that a certain topic or joke kind of came up and describing it, and somebody just like couldn't grasp the descriptor that went along with it, and then eventually they finally unlocked in their head, and they were like, "Holy, oh fuck!" They're just, anyways.
Okay. Well, after hearing you, Tawlin turns back around and goes into the kitchen. You hear some mumbling, mutterings, and Fiora comes out with a dish piled high with finely cut meats, as if, I don't want you to take this the wrong way, but it's like kibble cut.
Make sure you don't
fine.
choke.
It's easier to digest.
It's minced. But she says, "It's wonderful to have you back here, Thorn." And she slides the plate, which was kind of a mistake on her part because the meat was so heavy on the plate because it's, there's more of it now that it's minced, that it just kind of lopsides and falls onto the table a little bit. And she says, "Ooh, are you still gonna eat that? I'm sorry, I could go get you more."
Thorn just reaches over and grabs a handful and just shoves it in her face.
We had He said you'd do this. And she turns and she goes to walk off, and then she stops on her heel. She says, uh sweet or bitter?
Thorn kind of squints at her. Sweet. Thank you. Please. Yes.
She leaves and comes back with a pitcher of sweet mead. Fire wine.
Thorn is happily munching and drinking and manages to mutter a thank you over her mouthfuls of mincemeat. Thanks, Fiora. It's really good to be back.
She smiles pleasingly at you and goes about the significant task of basically setting up a free meal bar for the survivors that are starting to filter into the inn. Um, Toblin comes out and greets some of them as they filter in. It seems like he's good friends with a few of them.
Uh, Seeing this and Thorn realizing what it's for, she kind of wants to once Toblin is got a moment and has glanced at her, she kind of waves him over, just like whenever you have a second, can I talk to you?
He notices you, but after your last interaction, which, to be honest, isn't one of his favorite thus far, he takes his time getting over to you.
That's fine. That's perfectly fine. Thorn is just happily munching.
By the time he gets over to you, it's been about 15 minutes. And before we jump into that dialogue, I'm just curious if Reginald or Lionel are going to make their way down as they hear the munch of food downstairs and the incoming of patrons.
Yep, because
Yeah,
Reginald is going to be hungry.
I think the noises of all of that will get Lionel to get up, go get something to eat and some coffee so they can begin.
Excellent. You both have notes pinned to your doors as you uh, go to leave to make your way downstairs. They're two separate invitations. Reginald, your parents are inviting you over to Harbin Wester's estate to share dinner with them. I'm sorry, breakfast with them and Mr. Harbin Wester in a more, I don't really want to call Harbin Wester regal, but given the setting, a more aristocratic uh, setting. And Lionel, you have been invited by your brother and sister to go eat with the Kamotes.
Lionel will take up the offer for his brother and sister to go eat with him. He will grab a cup of coffee first before he goes, though. Understanding he has just woken up and he needs his own form of grease and oil to make sure he's working properly throughout the day.
Uh, you make your way downstairs, and Toblin happens to be walking back to behind the bar from greeting some of his guests. And at the moment he lays eyes on you, he gives you a knowing nod and pours you a pitch black coffee and puts it down in front of you and says, "You're the only person I know who drinks it that black. But I got some others that I got to take care of, so you take care of yourself. If you need anything, give a holler."
Will do. Thank you. I appreciate it. I take it and I start drinking it, and I just take the cup or tankard, whatever he put in, and I just drink it as I'm walking.
Reginald, are you going to take your parents up on the offer?
Yes, yeah, Reginald's going to do that. He's going to probably just kind of grab the note and kind of head on down and kind of briefly give a little, nod and a wave and be like, off to breakfast with my parents kind of deal, and like, holding the note up like, see.
Fiora gives a visible pout as she sees you leaving. Badoop.
Yeah. If that was the case, Lionel would have a lot of milk in it. Let's be real. He doesn't have a black soul at all.
Well, after about 15 minutes, Lionel and Reginald have made their way down and given you their passing goodbyes, Thorn. And finally, Toblin meanders over to you, having exhausted literally anything else to do. And he says, "Yes, ma'am."
There's just a little thump, thump, thump as Thorn's tail hits the back of the chair, And I think she like licks the meat off of her fingers and starts digging through her bag a little bit.
Oh God.
At least she licked her fingers clean first.
Yeah. And I think she takes out just like a really like a sack of coin and slides it over to Toplin, and it's about 20 gold or so, and she nods to the array of food that has been set out for the refugees. Put this towards materials for that, okay?
Um, you know how to make this man harden like ice and then melt him like nobody's business, because he visibly like his features soften as he looks at the coin and understands what you're saying to him, and he says, "This will help them out a lot. Are you sure? That's a lot of gold."
Thorn shrugs. It's all just metal to me, to Thorn. Yeah, it's fine. Little metal round things will do better for them than it will for Thorn, so.
Yeah, it will, especially here. Well, thank you. I'll make sure that this gets spent well and gets spread. You need anything?
I think Thorn just shoves another fistful of meat into her mouth and just shakes her head.
Well, all right. He takes the gold and heads behind the counter. But oops, wet again. Well, we're gonna pan over to Reginald. You navigate the not really bustling, but the morning crowd for the streets of Fandalen as people go to start their daily chores. Uh, you manage to find Harbin Wester's estate, no problem. His stuttering attendant greets you at the door, extremely nervously, um, but bids you welcome, doesn't say much to you beyond that, leads you inside to a very small dining room. I mean, it's smaller than uh, it. It's the smallest dining room you've been in a long fucking time, and you just came from, Falcon's hunting lodge, where I mean, dude had a fucking table set out for at least 20 guests. So it's a home for two, but your parents are there. Harbin Wester is mysteriously missing, and your mother and father are waiting for you with uh, your standard fare. Um, what is Reginald's favorite breakfast?
When mom makes Eggo waffles. No, I'm just kidding. Um,
Motherfucker.
I think he is. I think he's the kind that kind of likes probably like eggs, some kind of breakfast meat, whether it be bacon or sausage or whatever, and then um, you know toasted bread or just bread and jam. Nothing too fancy beyond that. Yeah, that's kind of just how he rolls.
Easy and simple, and that's what you encounter. Um, your mother uh, has some preserves with her from your family's vineyard, so you will have some grape preserves. But generally, it's just a really light atmosphere. They're treating you and the situation as if you just woke up and you all were back at the estate, and it's just a standard breakfast. There's a little bit of small talk back and forth, but generally they're just really trying to enjoy your company. having been without it at this point for a few months. So, is there anything that Reginald would like to talk about, or is he going to just enjoy the moment with his family?
I think he probably would just kind of enjoy the moment. I mean, not much is necessarily pressing in terms of this interaction or kind of being with his parents. So he's kind of like just letting it be its own thing. His conversation points probably will just be very basic and cordial. And he'll probably bring up that he's still working on this you know contraption of sorts, but that it's coming along. He's making progress on it.
Uh, Both your mother and your father, uh, they iterate how proud of you they are and how they have the utmost faith in your ability to, accomplish what needs to be accomplished. Um, your mother does make note. She says maybe something that brings a little bit of gravity to the situation. Um, but she says, it's been a while since we've all been out as a family, and even longer since we've gone into danger together. So, while I hope that we make it past Axholm together, and I have every belief that we will, should the worst come to pass, uh, I really, I really am proud of you, and really am confident in your ability to uh, be the man that you want to be. To which your father adds on, yes, yes, death and danger and the unknown, such as the Fortno life. But we'll come out on top, and we'll make sure that you do too, because Fortno still has a name to live up to.
Well, thank you. I'm a bit of a, I suppose, stranger to such praise being lavished upon me, but I will certainly ensure that I don't let the family name down.
Your father nods enthusiastically, but your mother looks at you a little bit more closely and says to you, more just to you uh, than to you and your father. She says, uh, "There's more to you than just Fortno, and don't you ever forget that."
He'll give a nod.
Excellent. Um, Pleasantries continue. Eventually, a bedraggled and exhausted looking Harbin Wester makes his way down, still in his nightgown and his nightcap. Sees you all dining at his table, and there are no seats left for him. Mumbles something about bullshit hospitality and elven. Um, oh, what is the word? Elven class. Before grabbing an apple and going back upstairs. um, but if there is nothing else that you would like to accomplish with your parents, then we're going to pan over to Lionel.
Mhm.
Lionel, you are on your way to the Kamote camp, which is situated just outside of Fandalen.
Hmm.
You arrive. Most people aren't going in and out of Fandalen at this point, so the main gate, if you want to call it that, the main thoroughfare is relatively empty. Especially, it's still pretty early. But as you walk up, you see the familiar face of Urk and his great sword stabbed into the ground as if he's a stone statue. He gives you a brief nod, and uh, past him, you can see Kuria and Vorel and some of the refugees um, meandering about the camp with plates of food. Near the bonfire in the center of the camp is are your twins. Not your twins, but the
Yeah,
twins of
I
your
know what you
family.
mean. Definitely not mine. Not that close, no. Um, I will grab something to eat and then go over there and join them. All the while, probably sipping the last dregs of the coffee that I have.
Funny that you say that. So you grab something to eat or go to, but a refugee, a survivor that you don't know, uh,
Hmm.
stops you and says, "I- "Are you Lionel?"
Yes, why?
Austrian, Austrian and Tina said that they got you some food, and I said that if any one of us saw you in particular, to just send you over there. And he points to that bonfire, and in between them now that you're a little bit closer, you can see
Hmm.
there is another. Um, it's not. It's a stump. It's a stump, but it has a plate and a mug on it.
Oh, the
uh,
sweet nectar. Thank you. And I just make a beeline.
you're eating dinner for breakfast. It is venison steak as you walk up with a side of eggs and another mug of pitch black coffee, just the way you like it, as if
Excellent.
your brother and sister know.
Yeah. I was probably the only one in the house that drank it that way, if I had to guess.
You actually got the habit from your father, but that's okay.
uh,
But you stroll up, and neither of them actually look at you as you stroll up. They just hear the signature sound of Theranthrope human footsteps.
mhm.
They know you. They know your gait. And Austrian, out of the corner of his eye, looks at you, picks up the plate, and offers it to you, and offers you a spot in between them.
I take the plate. Thank you, Austrian, and I sit down in between them. Seems you two are doing well.
Uh, Neither one of them answers outright. They are both chewing on some really tough venison steak right now. uh, Tina is having a little bit more trouble with it than Austrian is. But as you're kind of just sitting there enjoying the moment with them, you can see that Austrian has become a man and Tina has become a woman. They are no longer little brother, little sister. They are very much individuals capable of great feats, much like yourself.
Mhm.
Um, not to take away that they are brother or sister to you or anything like that, but I'm simply trying to iterate that they have grown.
Yeah,
Ostrin has a very powerful jawline that is extremely visible right now as he chews this extremely tough steak.
it's very much seeing that they have hit puberty and gone past it for the first time after everything has settled for once.
Well, so how old were Ostrin and Tina when you left? They were still
Yeah,
teenagers. Yeah,
yeah, they were just barely getting to be teenagers. They were like 10 or 11. So, and it's been a couple years. So they're roughly probably about 14, 15, maybe even 16 now.
they are definitely in their early 20s. They
Yeah.
appear that age anyway.
Yeah.
And it's not something that you really noticed at first because like they're still strangers to you. So they're stranger family, but you can tell that they've aged and they've aged quite
More than they should
significantly.
have.
Mhm. So there, there's a few moments of silence as Ostrin chokes down another bite, and he says, "Yes, well, we've had a lot thrown at us, and you know, we've met every challenge and rose to it. So I'd say that we are doing pretty great, considering the things that we've seen and been through."
Yes, we both have grown up a lot more than I thought you would, to be perfectly honest. Again, not understanding how they can appear so much older than what they should actually be. Lionel's good with numbers, and it's not adding up.
um, well, they both smile at you and say, "Our time with Miss Ashby Bennett was extremely enlightening. Um, we've been to a few different places, and time doesn't really work the same those places."
Bet you they travel to different planes. Fuck!
Hello,
That
Planewalker.
Feywild, baby.
Um,
Um, you know, we actually invited you here, Austrian or Tina and I, because we wanted to talk to you about what happened, um, and kind of explain to you some things about Dominic, if you're willing to talk about that this early.
I think I finished whatever I'm eating and put it down, but still hold on to my mug. Yeah, I'm fine to talk about it if you guys want to. Last we left off, you were both pretty unhappy with me, so if you guys are ready, I'm ready to listen.
Well, let's see. Uh, Austrian leans back, and as he does, almost as if in unison and in opposite directions, Tina leans forward. Um, she puts her plate on the ground in front of her, and she puts her chin in her hand, kind of resting a little bit, and
Mhm.
she says, "We found him. Uh, this he saved us. We were being young and dumb. Uh, we joined Fort No and got sent to do some crazy things, and one of those things was to uh, investigate a sorceress tower inside of the Neverwinter Wood."
I don't feel so bad about kicking your ass now.
Well, what would you have us do? Live off of mother and father until they kick the bucket? We got to get out too. And
No, I know, I would have rather that you both were able to follow your dreams the way that you wanted to. It's just, it's complicated, and an older brother will never, not feel a need to be slightly protective, even when his two younger siblings obviously can take care of themselves at this point.
well, we couldn't back then, and that's what we're trying to say. Is that Dominic saved us and didn't ask anything of us. Um, we don't know how much you know about him, but we wanted to tell you what we knew about him since you you are so connected to him. Uh, and I'd like to start by saying that he's not of this world. He's not of this plane. He's not human. If you hadn't already figured that out.
Yeah, the not human part I picked up relatively quickly after my first encounter with him. Not being from here, I very much suspected after our last meeting with him where I won the game. What exactly he actually is, though, is still a mystery, though it seems maybe Fae or something else.
Uh, Austrian crosses his arms over his chest and looks up at the sky. Says, "What do you know of the Fae?"
That is a good question.
That they're amazing.
Hmm. Can I? Do you want? Can I roll something? Try and see what I actually do know of them.
Hold on, let me pull up your character sheet.
I was gonna say it's like cross campaign meta to be like, oh, fair, amazing, clearly.
Yeah. They are very different with different DMs.
I disagree. I think the Feywild is the superior plane in any game.
I can't imagine why you would disagree with a statement that would paint them gray versus all good.
You can roll me either
Mhm.
an Arcana check or a Nature check. What you think you know versus what is naturally known. It seems that you would have a +4 in either case.
Yeah. I think I will go with Arcana simply because I feel like Lionel would have encountered them far more often in his studies, in his more recent studies of magic, and trying to figure out how items work, especially if they're magical, just because there's an abundance of magic in the Feywild potentially, and some items that could have come over from there might not work the way that you want them to.
So, uh, just the nature of what you're trying to think about, Arcana and things that are naturally unknown, right? Only written about in books. And while, yes, you have been a study in the past, it's been years since you've been able to sit down in a library properly and think about this. So it's not super surprising that you come up a little bit short uh, thinking about what you know about Archfey. You know that they are a class of, uh, or I'm sorry, a classification of Fey that seem to be bordering on godhood. That's that's about what you know. You don't know how many there are. You don't know if they have any correlation to anything significant like seasons or anything like that. You just simply know that Archfey are akin to gods for Fey.
It's been a long time since I've had to think about anything Fey related, but I know that they have different classifications or stratum for how they divide themselves, and typically at the top are the Archfey, and they liken themselves to gods or something close to it in their ability to use magic and I guess shape their ideals. But that's about all I know. I know maybe it also has something to do with the seasons or that their emotions dictate a lot of things, but that's about all I remember.
Ostrin's nodding as you're talking, as if agreeing with you and trying to encourage you. But it's Tina who, uh, reaching off to her right into her bag, pulls out a book and hands it to you. Um, the book is very familiar to you. It's actually a book that you gave Tina when you all were living together. You thought it was fiction, however, when you gave it to her. Um, it is um, it's a book written in Elvish, so and I don't believe you do not. It's
No.
it's a, it's a book written in Elvish, which is a language that your sister does understand, which is why you got it to her. And the person who sold it to you told you that its meaning on the cover was the masks of the world. Um, as she hands it to you, she says a few words, and the book glows a purple color. Not the same purple as Dominic's, but nonetheless purple. You sense a connection. The Archfey are keepers of the Feywild, but they're not beholden to the Feywild. And while they do have so many insane and near incomprehensible powers, uh, they are bound, um, sometimes by other Archfey, sometimes by pacts with humans. In this case, I believe Miss Bennett uh, has a pact with him, but I don't know why or anything like that. But those pacts are what ground him to this plane. However, there's something different about whatever's affecting him. He's all of his power is here, and that's not how the Fae work. The Fae are, and she like shakes her head trying to think of a word, says something to Austrian in another language that you don't understand. I'm sorry. They have a conversation, a very brief one, uh, with you in between them, in this language that lasts probably about 15 seconds before Austrian nods and says, uh, "The Fae scatter their power. Uh, they're ethereal. They go in and out of planes. Um, For an Archfey to have all of his power here means that something is holding him here and using him most likely, which is why when he found us on the brink of death fighting a beholder out in the woods, uh, he decided to use those powers to save us in that we would help him, no questions asked.
Mm.
Now, Tina and I both told him no, and you know that. We aren't bound to him. We were bound to Lady Bennet through our oath to Fortno, and thus our assignment there. I'm sure that Dominique had some hand in getting us that post there, because we told him that we wouldn't bind ourselves. We'd rather die. He still wound up saving us. That's why when you tell us that you think that he's evil, we know you're wrong. We think that he's a wounded animal, a creature that is fighting to survive in the only way that he, in his inhuman way, knows how. So, Tina and I want to ask you, and Tina pipes up, continuing almost scary. It's almost a little bit scary how much of the same wavelength they are on. But she says to you, we want to help him. And we think that in order to help him, we need to kill his physical form on this plane. And we don't know how you're tied to that, but we know that you are. And from your last words with Dominic, we think that you would want to do it too, if only to get rid of him. So while we're doing it for different reasons, I think we can still work together on that. Yeah, think about that, bitch. Anyway, panning over to Thorn. No, I'm just kidding.
I think I lean forward, so I'm kind of in the same position that Tina is, but with me being slightly taller, I'm more forward and I think about it for like a good 5 minutes, and I look kind of straight ahead into the fire that is in front of us, and I just say to them, I don't think I can ever come to understand him the way that you two do. And maybe that's due to the circumstances that I found myself entangled with him and how everything came to be and what I lost and the decisions I made after that to try and alleviate what I thought was the bigger pain to the family. But you are right. I do. Our goals align in this, and I think that doing this will provide some help from you two that you wish to do, and for me, maybe some form of not conviction, but some form of an end to all this.
Redemption.
I think he thinks for a moment and he shakes his head because the word redemption would have come to his mind and he doesn't think it's that. This is going to be a conclusion. I started down a road when I accepted a game with him and I lost. And I know that with that game, no matter how badly I would have wanted it, I was going to lose, and that was his plan. I still don't know why I am involved in all of this. Because you both know me. The thing I've only ever really been good at is building things with metal and understanding how to take them apart and make them better. I was never good with magic. That was always you, Tina. And the one who always wanted to fight, well, that was you, Austrian, and our eldest sister. I don't know why exactly it's me. I'll put an end to this, one way or another, and I think we can do that together.
So as you say that first bit of that last line you just said, I don't know why I'm a part of this. Where are you looking? Into the fire?
I think I'm still looking into the fire as I'm saying all this. I think I looked to Austrian and Tina when I called them out specifically by name to say what they were good at, but then my gaze immediately returned to the fire.
You look to Ostrin first, and he's looking at Tina. And as you look at Tina, she's looking at Ostrin. And I need you to roll me uh, an insight check on whichever one you choose, but do it with advantage.
Okay. I'll probably do it with Tina. I rolled a 7 on both. Excellent. Excellent. Excellent.
How did you do that?
Do you have inspiration you can burn?
No,
Magic.
because this was advantage anyway, so the inspiration's not going to do shit.
Uh,
Yeah, your luck is back. Bullshit.
you do have luck dice.
Yeah, actually, that is a good point. I think I can just use it to re-roll, and
You
then I take
can.
it.
Yeah.
For long rest. Whenever you make an attack roll, ability check, or saving throw, you can spend one roll to roll an additional d20. You choose which die to use. All right, so I'll do that, and I'll roll. I'll use one of these. Use one of my lucky.
Just don't be like me with Penny and roll a luck die and roll lower, like pretty consistently. Okay, there you go. Good
I
job.
will take the 15.
There's a split second. What's Lionel's favorite color?
Red
I know,
like
weird
forge
question.
fire.
Black.
No,
Like
it's definitely
coffee.
not.
Yeah.
I would say it's probably red,
Red?
much like the hot irons that he's so used to working with.
Wow.
There's a moment where you look at Tina and you don't understand her. You don't know her. But that's not right. You do know her. And there's like, man, you feel it come back. You feel that first spark of luck. And maybe a little bit of flash of red that comes across your eyes. But something happens. Red's involved. I'll let you flavor that how you want.
Mhm.
And you know that Tina's hiding something from you. Just because of the way that she's not looking at you when you're talking to her.
I think after I return my gaze to the fire and I finish what I'm saying, I hold for a couple of minutes and then I just say to them both without looking back, if we are actually going to work together, you two need to tell me everything and the whole truth and stop hiding things from me. You want to know all the reasons why I left? I gave them to you. I told you exactly why. I think it's only fair that you two do the same for me. You might hate me for what I've done, but I at least deserve to know what it is we're actually dealing with if you know more. This is not just about you, Tina, or you, Austrian, or me, and our squabble or our mutual friend that we all either like or hate. This involves people beyond us. And we can't be selfish with them.
Uh, Austrian grinds his heel into the dirt, kind of kicking up a little bit of dust, and says, "Are you finished? Can we talk now?"
Go right ahead.
First off, neither Tina nor myself hate you, and if you say it again, I will deck you. Secondly, we don't know what we don't know. We've only got hunches. But what you said, how you're tied to this, and how you don't know how. Tina found something in that book. Why she thinks that you have to be involved in this. Now,
And
she'll try to explain it the best that she can or read it, but it's in a Fey language, and while I know bits and pieces, I'll have to translate as she reads it because when you read this book and you know Fey, you enter a trance. Now, if that's something you want us to do, we're not going to do it as we're eating breakfast. But we'll do it before we leave. Is that fair?
of course, I'm not going to argue with you two. You two know it better than me.
Uh, Tina puts her hand on your forearm and says, Lionel, we're sorry that we're sorry that we hurt you or upset you. We don't hate you, but you're right. More people are involved with this, and I can't afford to have emotions over our families getting in the way of what could be potentially God-breaking power. And I know I know I'm still your little sister, but you you have to understand that things have changed. Austin and I are not the same. When we think about it, we're both 28. There's 15 years difference between the time here and the time that we spent on the ethereal plane. 15 years is a long time. A long time to be without you, a long time to not know if you were alive or dead, a long time to be in service to somebody and know them and know of them and know who they are and see them do good work. You're right. Nobody's perfect. I don't blame you for the things that happened between you and Dominic. I don't blame you for being forced to leave or choosing to leave. I don't blame you for any misfortune that befell us. You're 100% correct. It is all Dominic's fault. But we're one family. And while it means a lot to us, we're going to move forward from it. That's what Austrian and I have to do. And I want you to come with us.
I think I put my hand over hers and I look at her and I just say, "You just had to ask. I would have gone with you both. You know that."
Great. I'm going to go get another. No, I'm not. I'm going to go look for potatoes. Austrian chuckles as well and says, "Yeah, anything's better than this fucking crap." And he throws what's left of his venison steak into the fire.
I hate your brother.
You
Thorn would
Gotcha.
never.
got your own food scraps you're worrying about. Calm down.
All right, an hour later, after having an event with each and every one of you at this point, I have to go put my kid down. So
Yeah.
we'll be right back.
Yep. Fuckers are the same age as me now. In game.
Oh shit.
Mm-hmm.
Hardar, we're back.
Wait,
Welcome back.
Alrighty. So the morning carries on. Is there anything that anybody would like to do in particular? Or shall I move us on to getting ready for Axholm?
Nope.
I have nothing
Thorn.
additional.
Yeah, Thorn doesn't really have anything additional. I think she finishes with her mincemeat and just kind of like goes and helps around the Kamote camp for a while. But nothing in particular.
I'm good too.
Phenomenal. Well, as the morning drags on, I'm sorry.
The trials of having a toddler who can't see things in front of his fucking face.
Where's
Where's my fluff pillow? It's literally on your bed. I put it there. But it's not there. I literally put it there. It's fucking there. What do you mean?
He's literally laying on it. So
He was.
I have completely lost my train of thought.
going to
Uh,
Axholm.
Right. Okay. Axholm. The morning drags on. As we approach mid morning, we'll say it's for timekeeping purposes, it's around 10 a.m. when a shadow gets cast over Findalen, that of a dragon. There's a bellowing roar as the dragon, Cryovane, swoops down over Fandalen and does a pass with its icy breath. A pass directly over the Kamote camp.
Shocker.
Rude dragon.
Fucking asshole.
Now, there's a bit of screaming. I imagine that Thorn, you are still there. That being your place to meander about. Lionel, I imagine you would have went with your brother and sister to gather supplies.
Yep.
And Reginald, I'm going to be honest, man, I have no idea where you would be at this point in time.
Probably, if I had to guess, reading something.
Reading, not writing.
Yeah, probably.
um, Either way, Thorn, the dragon swoops down and you have a clear view of it. It's encased in a glowing ice that seems to move with its body. It flies down to about 10 feet off the ground and lets a torrent of ice cold breath down near some refugees that were milling about just on the outskirts of the camp. Uh, there is a uh, silverish blue light that comes up to meet the breath of air, though, and Cryovane is uh, startled enough to avert his course and take back off into the skies. The source of the light, as I assume you would move to investigate, is actually coming from Urk, who has now successfully fended off a dragon twice.
Yes, he can put another notch on his belt for that. Never hear the end of it.
um, his eyes are glowing very. It's not perfectly white, but it might as well be. There's a silver sheen to them, and they are glowing quite brightly as he stands there with his great sword slung over his shoulder in his right hand, his palm out like he's a spellcaster uh, in the direction of the dragon. Uh, but after a moment, the light coming from him fades off, and he assumes a more natural pose. Dumb dragon! He beats his chest once or twice, and then turns to resume his patrol that he has not given up since he's arrived. He assists some of the more spooked refugees back on their feet. Kuria comes stomping over to investigate as well. And seeing that the dragon's gone, he drops the heavy boulders that he was carrying. And otherwise, the morning carries on. There's a bunch of clamor as Kuria and Vorel have an argument. Kuria's adamant that he should be going with you all to Axholm, but wounded as he is, Vorel is forbidding it. Yes, let's just take our giant friend into a dwarven fortress. Yes, I imagine that half of you might be able to fit inside of it. The rest of you will just be mincemeat for whatever decides to come out. Be lucky if you don't get your fucking snout stuck in something. Kuria growls deeply at your mother. But having no argument as your mother prods him with the end of her bow in one of his more broken areas, and he winces. He growls, "Fine," and turns to stomp off. And Urk,
Thorn stifles a chuckle. Poorly.
Urk, unable to keep his tongue, says, "Man, that's a big bitch."
Thorn does smack him in the back of the head for that.
he starts laughing a little bit harder.
That's Thorn's mom. She's the legendary Vorel. She'll beat your ass. Don't let her hear you talking about her like that.
I wasn't talking about her. I was talking about the big one. He's a big bitch.
She'll beat your ass too.
To which Vorl, like in a very snake-like fashion, turns around and snakes her head and directly like 2 inches from both of you at this point. Urk immediately like freezes up and is like eye to eye with your mom. I imagine you're still relaxed.
Yeah, Thorn just like leans forward and like licks the tip of her nose. Hi, Mom.
Watch your mouths
What?
and leave your brother
Thorn
be.
was defending you.
Little one, between the two of us, I do not need defense. Thank you, though.
Thorn doesn't either. Thorn has good defense.
An AC of 18, right?
Puffs her chest out. Thorn can once again see God. Thorn has 18 AC.
Fuck does that even mean?
Thorn just like beats her chest a little bit.
Your mother uncharacteristically actually chooses to mess with you. She hold on, I'm gonna roll for it. What's your AC? 18, you said? I'm pulling out the good die because it's your mom. Nice, nat 20. So that's how this is gonna go.
If anybody
You
could
end up
best
on your
Thorn
ass.
in the Camotes, it would be either Thorn's mom or Thorn's dad. Maybe Kuria.
Your mom, with lightning fast speed, undoes 2 clasps on your armor before you're able to get your hand up to go to wave her off. Your armor kind of slumping off on on your left side, and she's like, "Yes, but I don't need all of that."
Ooh.
At least it'll protect you from the dragon's teeth when he tries to eat you. She says as she stands up to her full height, turning around and very lightly flicking you with her tail as she walks off.
Thorn just like mutters under her breath, well, at least Thorn gets to eat the dragon. That's all Thorn cares about. Thorn doesn't care. Thorn just wants to eat it.
Your mom's scary.
Yeah. Yeah. She's nice though. When she's not scary.
You say so. Look at that bear. Look at that bear. Look at that bear butt. Scratch the bear butt.
Spank the bear butt.
He's a good bear. Look
Our,
at him. He's loving it.
our cats love aggressive affection. They love when you beat their butts.
Mary's getting a bald patch on her butt.
That's because
Sarah's
she's
not as
old
big a
and
fan of that.
allergy.
It's such a good-looking cat. uh, the morning progresses on, and eventually noon arrives. Reginald, your parents have acquired a cart with a new ox, retiring Vincent after his wound. And this is a properly sized cart, bearing the Fortno motif on it with a little banner of Fortno colors. But it will hopefully assist in removing any debris or otherwise gaining entry into Axholm, because it is a fortress and you do not know what you are going to go into. They believe it is abandoned. So they're bringing a whole bunch of tools, pickaxes, axes, hammers, just in case you got to beat your way in.
Yeah.
But come noon, everybody starts congregating on the eastern side of Fandalen, and it looks like you all are ready to make your way. Any last minute oh by the ways?
Not for me.
What is the location of the Dragon Barrows again? What is it? Just like plains and stuff?
You are not going to the Dragon Barrow.
Right.
But
No, I know, not right now. I'm saying for after we deal with Axome. Because Axome's mountainous, I know that.
the Dragon Barrow is in between Neverwinter and I guess the halfway point or the Tribor Trail.
Okay, so it's like plainy, rolling hills stuff. Okay.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be plains, wind swept and all that, since the coast is a few miles to the west.
Okay. Yeah. Then I am good.
All righty. Well, your group gets together. Total, I believe there are 7 of you. Voral is coming. You have Irk, Lionel, Thorn, and Reginald. And then your mother and father, Reginald. Reginald Sr. and Rubella. And that is your party as you venture forth. The car is big enough for everybody to ride on if that is your choice. However, since I know this is a cosmetic thing for Thorn, if you try to ride the ox, Irk is already on it and he will fight you for it.
I push him off.
Roll
You don't
for it.
even know this ox. This is Thorn's ox.
You don't know this
It's,
ox
it's
either.
not your ox either.
not
It's a
Vincent?
new one.
I thought it was
No, it's a
Vincent.
new one.
Yeah,
The whole thing
bullshit.
about Vincent getting sent
Yeah.
off because of his injury was discussed.
Whatever. I'll still kick him off. What do you want me to roll?
just roll a d20.
Fuck.
Oof.
You win.
Oof.
Irk unceremoniously gets shoved off of the new ox, whom I do not have a name for because I'm a shitty DM. But nonetheless, he grumbles something, pelts you with a stone, and goes to sit next to your mother.
That's fine.
Your mother is cooing over him. Oh my, just look at your shiny scales.
No, Thorn
You know
hates
I
that.
have a I have a daughter, don't you?
Thorn
have
hates
you
that.
have you met Thorn? Irk's looking up at her, absolutely terrified, but goes, "Yeah, she's a bitch."
Checks out.
Thorn's not a bitch. She's just very opinionated, very set in her ways.
Her phone just piped up. It doesn't look like you have an app named Waze.
Fuck off, Google.
It's the British accent or English accent of her fucking phone's shit that gets me every fucking time. I'm never
The
expecting.
Bridgerton voice.
I had my
Yeah.
Siri set to the English voice.
Your trip is remarkably uneventful as you all travel almost directly south. Hold on, I gotta pull up the right map. The trip should take about a day. You will not be able to complete it in this day, so you all will be camping, but uh, being as bougie as they are, uh, Reginald Sr. and Rubella have planned for this and have a very opulent setup which utilizes the back of the cart to make a very large tent. Although Rubella and Reginald Sr. do not use that, Reginald Sr. conjures up a house seemingly out of thin air, and him and Rubella stay in that.
I mean, when you
I
can
gotta
make tiny
learn that
hut,
trick.
you use tiny hut.
Yeah.
It's not very tiny.
Listen, I understand this, but that's what the spell is called, okay?
Similarly, Urk does not partake of the tent. He sets up his own as he has every night that you've known him thus far, and proceeds about his peculiar rituals of maintenance and otherwise creating some sort of schedule to keep himself awake through the night to keep watch. Um, Voral disappears at some point to come back with uh, plenty of food for the group and fresh water. And you all begin to enjoy uh, an evening at the base of the mountains.
I think for the evening, I will work on the project that Reginald and I have started. If he is working on it, also, I will join him. If not, I will just be doing it on my own.
Of course, because I have like a time limit. Like it has to be ready to use when we're done here. You know.
Yeah, so I will join him.
Thorn doesn't do the thinking thing, she just does the hitting thing. So I think she's just being a general nuisance around camp.
I think every once in a while, Reginald or I will pull her away for just a moment just to go fetch something,
Ugh.
and then bring it back to us.
Just not a dog, goddamn.
No, but we are keeping her distracted from everyone else.
Well, I would like both of you to go ahead and roll me. What did I have you all rolled last time? Arcanas? Arcanas. Roll me Arcanas.
With or without advantage.
Without,
Just
you
normal?
are, yeah, just normal. Stop! Seriously? What the fuck? Is this the same? It is! 21, 22, and a 21 and a 23.
I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know.
We're good at what we do. What do you
That's just
want?
the way the dice roll.
Yeah, here, look. See, I'll mix it up. See, not a 21.
You're a piece of shit.
I won't do that. I know how my luck is. It'll drop to like a -2.
Jesus. You all make significant progress despite your non-acclimating environment.
Very nice.
So much so that you are not able to keep Thorn entertained. And Voral steps in to, uh, well, honestly, just take your attention away. But you two go on creating and make excellent strides in the implementation that you are striving for. Thorn, roll me roll me a perception check. You are You are sufficiently distracted throughout the night as your mother is able to weave in and out of your focus just enough to not seem suspicious. But she has kept you out of your friend's hair, so to speak.
Damn.
But the evening does eventually wind down. Vorl winds up taking the tent, I assume with Thorn and Lionel and Reginald. And Urk goes off to start his nightly watch cycle. Just for DM purposes, is anybody else going to share watch responsibilities with Urk?
Reginald will not be, because right now he's got someone that's willing to just do it and not complain, and he's cool with that.
I think Lionel will help just to make sure Urk actually gets some sleep. As much as Urk might like to say, I don't need sleep, fuck you. It's like, no, bitch, you're still a creature.
Bitch,
You
you don't
need
know
some
jack
sleep.
shit about Urk, okay? You've known him for a day. What do you mean?
He's a fucking kobold. He still needs like 8 hours of sleep, to my knowledge.
You have never not seen him take care of himself. So
Exactly.
that's it. That's an
Apparently needs
unfair
someone to tell
assumption.
I think Thorn would also take a watch as well, like one of the earlier in the day watches, so like later watches.
That was confusing the way you said that.
I know.
Earlier in the day, later watches.
Yes.
So like 2 a.m.
Yes.
versus versus
You understood what I said.
I did. You're right. um well, since Urk now has assistance going through this, I need you both to roll me perception checks.
Who is both?
Lionel and Thorn.
Okay.
It's all A-okay. I don't see nothing of interest.
You don't. Your watch. So Urk takes first watch and he goes for about 3.5 hours. So it's a little bit past midnight, getting close to 1 a.m. by the time you wake up and decide to take the next watch. You take the next watch and you're tired. It's been a while since you've been up this late to stand something as tedious as staring into darkness. So maybe you doze off. Maybe not. You don't hear anything, that's for damn sure. And ultimately, Thorn comes to relieve you about 3.5 hours later. Now, Thorn, you see eyes in the distance. They're maybe 300 yards away, so a good distance. But they're glowing, and they look like just like little lights dancing, almost like fireflies, except you notice that they are always paired together and they are always facing you.
Thorn will look. Thorn will keep her eyes kind of like watching these, but she grabs like back of Lionel's like cloak or something to get him to stop. Are, are you are you are you telling Thorn you didn't see those things right there?
See what?
Thorn will nod in the direction that she's looking, like not taking her eyes off of it. There's something watching us out there.
I'll look over to where Thorn's pointing. Do I see anything? Since she's pointing out.
Roll me a perception check with advantage. Yes, you see them. Clear as day.
It wasn't there like 2 hours ago. Do we just see the eyes, or do we get an actual shape with it too?
You only see the eyes,
Uh,
which is strange because um, the moon is still very bright and the sky is clear, but there seems to be like a shadow cast over the general area that you're looking.
mm, whatever it is isn't natural. Fuck. Let me see. Pa-pa-pa-pa-pa-pa-pa-pa-pa. Uh, I will pick up a stone, like a tiny pebble, and I will use one of my magical tinkerings with it and make it give off light for up to 5 feet around it. And I will just kind of cautiously toss it towards that area to see if I can get a better view of what this thing is. With a more
300
direct.
yards is a very big distance to
God
toss
damn it!
something.
I didn't realize it was that far. Shit. Okay.
Yes. What you are seeing is literally sets of glowing dots that are always the same width apart.
Okay.
They are getting closer.
How many sets are there?
Just that one, I think. Oh, well.
He's rolling. That's not
Yeah.
necessarily a good sign.
I heard
No, it's
multiple
not.
dice, so
You think there are 5.
If we both can see they're coming closer, it's time to get the others up.
yeah, you go get them. I'll stay here and keep an eye on it.
I will then make my way towards Irk, Reginald, and then to Reginald's parents' camp. Hut thing to get everyone up.
You get everybody up, but because you're doing that, Thorn, there is a moment where all of them disappear. Please roll me initiative.
Where's my token?
Oh, right. Hold on. Sorry, my fault.
Sitting here like I thought the tokens were here.
It's a new map. Here's
Yeah.
Reginald. So you guys have officially like done almost everything here. So I just gave you all the uh, official map.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very responsive.
Yeah, you are. Jesus.
We're being attacked. Oh shit! I haven't gotten my 2 hours of beauty sleep. Fuck them.
Fireball!
It's always the answer.
So everybody's up and roused, and you start to hear it. The sort of crunch of grass as something's running. Some things are running. You you see them eventually, because Reginald Sr. Lights up the area with what appears to be a flare, casting some sort of magic. You can now see 5 small figures, uh, short stature, each wielding a spear, uh, charging at you from across the field. At this point, having roused everybody and gotten everybody together, they've cleared a significant distance of that 300 yards, and I'm going to say that they are 50 feet out. Because you saw them, you all have first order turns. So I'm going to go in the order of your all's initiative. So, Reginald, what would you like to do? They are spaced out enough that if you cast a fireball, you can catch 2 of them.
Okay. And you said they're 300 feet still, more or less?
50 feet.
50 feet. Okay, so they've closed that distance significantly among the flare. Okay, so I feel like fireball's a good play right now, which is kind of counterintuitive to exactly the words that I just uttered. I think Reginald is going to cast Ice Knife at let's say, I don't know, target number 4. And let me just scroll back a little bit to get to Ice Knife. There we go. So they basically have to make a DC 14 check. Is that an actual attack roll on the spell?
Yes. It
Yes.
should be.
So I have a 10 to hit, so that's probably not going to hit, is my guess.
Your knife does go wide.
Okay. So then the 10 piercing damage does not count, but then the dex save would trigger for the explosion of things that would be within a 5-foot radius. So it really would only be like the target that I was aiming for. And if they pass that, then they take half or none. Hold on. So the target must regain. So this target, each creature sexually or okay. So then it would take none if they pass, because it's a cantrip. No, it's a first level spell, so it's got to be half. 2d6 on dex save fail. Oh, okay. So if they pass, no damage.
They seem to disappear into the grass as they duck down underneath your knife, having
Ooh.
just made their save.
Okay. Well, okay. Yeah. Fair enough. I guess then Reginald will kind of, take better posturing among a group to kind of take a prepared stance for battle that's now quickly approaching, to not be off on his own kind of thing. And in the event that you cared or wanted to be concerned about it, that was me casting a sorcerer spell. So wild magic would be in effect if you wanted to trigger it.
Ooh. Don't I have to roll for that?
Yeah, it says once per turn, DM can have me, the player, roll a d20 immediately after I cast a sorcery spell of first level or higher, which it was a level 1 spell. If I roll a 1 on the Wild Magic Surge table, we then get fun things. If I get anything other than a 1, it just goes off like normal.
And this is your first time casting a sorcerer spell?
Mm-hmm.
Roll it.
Okay.
Sorry, bud.
Oh, that was so close.
It was.
Son of a goddamn bitch.
That was so close.
No wild magic for me.
Yeah, I'll be more pointed in terms of when I'm casting a spell to let you know if it's a sorcerer spell, to let you know if you want me to roll or not. So
Thank you. I don't think never mind. Just let me know. Yep.
will do. And that will conclude my turn.
All right. Actually, next up is Irk, but I don't know how to tie his fucking shit to this. So
Should be able, honestly, should just be able to highlight his token and then literally roll it from his character sheet and beyond, and it should put him on the list regardless.
I
Mhm.
did do that,
Oh,
so I'm gonna have to just add it manually.
fair enough.
I think. How the fuck do you add it manually again? Right click. Add turn. 22. Not 222. So Irk, having been witness to that, is actually going to pull out his longbow. Let's see here. Urk lets loose 2 arrows, the first of which connects with its target, and that target staggers deeply as the arrow rips through it. It lets out a yelp and continues its charge. His second arrow, however, flies wide. He curses under his breath, but otherwise, I believe it is Lionel's turn.
I will attack the one that Urk just did. I need it to roll me a Constitution saving throw, please. DC 15 as I cast Frostbite upon it.
I got a 3.
All right.
Hold on, I've got a plus 100 on con saves, so it's fine.
Well, shit.
What happens?
He takes 8 points, or it takes 8 points of cold damage, and it has disadvantage on the next weapon attack roll it makes before the end of its next turn.
Okay.
And I will just make sure that my armor is on me. But other than that, I'm going to hold fast and not move forward. They can come to me.
Thorn.
Can we see what these things are now that they're getting closer and closing the distance?
Just to kind of theater of the mind this, the grass for you is still pretty tall, right? You're a small creature. So no, you have an idea that they are roughly the same height as you, though, and that they bleed, judging by the arrow and blood splatter that seems to be protruding out of one. Um, if you'd like more detail than that, I'm going to have you sack your bonus action to roll me a perception check to focus on your targets.
That's fine. I'll do that.
So I'm going to tell you and only you that they are
I think what Thorn does is she like just takes a moment. Like she has her sword and shield out, but she takes a moment, and like her ears are just like little satellites, and she's like got them pricked up, and she hears what are now somewhat familiar noises, and she just kind of like relaxes a little bit and is just like confused and like tilts her head and her ears are still kind of going. And I think she looks over at Reginald and Lionel and just says, Thorn, those are kobolds. I don't know why Thorn doesn't know why they're attacking us though.
Kobolds attacking us. Why?
Well, yeah, that's the question.
Could be a few reasons. Hungry. They just want to steal our shit. We're under the control of the dragon. Either way, they are not stopping. I'm not either.
I think Thorn is reticent to attack without having more information. So I think she's going to hold her action. She's going to hold just her basic attack action for if anything attacks her. And that'll be her turn.
Very well. Next up is going to be the. I'm sorry, is actually going to be Reginald Senior.
Get him, Dad.
Who, uncaring about who he hits at this point, is going to throw a fireball into the midst. Jesus, that's 2 fails.
Yikes.
Let's see. 8d6. God damn. I need more d6s. 3. Jesus. All right. Two of them get blasted, and a small fire starts out in the field. Just so that you all are aware, that fire does pose a real threat if it is not somehow contained. But next up will actually be your mother's turn, and she is also just going to take pot shots with a very nice looking bow. Maybe not so nice. A nat 1 and a 3.
Mom,
So,
please.
not your mom, Reginald's mom.
Oh.
My mom.
Oh, she don't care no more.
And not as much.
Having missed both of her shots, she says something under her breath, to which Vorel chuckles and says, "Do I need to show you how it's done?"
Yeah, Mom. Dead.
And there's a little, you can tell there's a little bit of friendly rivalry there. As Vorel bucks up to also take 2 shots, critting on one of them.
Well, shit. This is gonna be never hear the end of the "my mom's better than your mom" debate here.
My mom hit those things, yours didn't.
Yeah.
So one target just took over half his health and fucking damage. And Vorl will lean over and stick her tongue out, her snake-like tongue out at Rubella. But having all of them gone, are all of you gone, it is the enemy's turn. And they charge forth. Reginald, what's your AC, buddy?
My AC is 16.
Is that with mage armor? Because I didn't hear you say you
Yes.
cast that.
Yes. So without it would be 13.
Did you cast it?
No.
A javelin gets launched at you from the distance
Rip.
as 30 feet get crossed, and there's still 20 feet between you all, or between you and the enemy, but he throws his weapon. And you're going to take 9 points of piercing damage. I will also
Nice.
need a constitution saving throw, please.
Oh shit.
Save.
Oof.
Big rip. Big rip.
Is. Well, I guess it wouldn't matter.
You are going to suffer 18 points of poison damage.
Jesus. Calm down. He's a wizard.
Am I also poisoned as a status, or is it just taking poison damage?
Just the poison damage.
Okay. And that was 18, you said?
Yep.
Okay. Got it.
Next up, Thorn. I don't know why I bother. Actually, your AC is 18.
Yeah.
If I meet it, do I hit?
Yes.
Yes.
Meets it, beats
Yep.
it.
Bitch.
It
You will,
beats the meat.
you will suffer 8 points of piercing damage. Please roll me a constitution saving throw.
Thorn, do better. What is with my rolls tonight?
You also feel the sixth. The six.
You
And
will
throw up.
suffer 22 points of poison damage.
You throw up a lot.
Yikes.
Lionel,
Yes, sir.
spreading the love. What's your AC?
18 as well.
Miss. I'm going to try again. Damn, just missed. 5 javelins get launched at your party. Wait a minute. Did I miscount? I hit Reginald. I hit Thorn. 2 for Lionel. I got 1 more, don't I?
Yes, you do.
That is correct.
Nice. Reginald. Not you, but your dad. It's going to suffer. Not that it really matters. 7 con save.
Reginald the Deuce.
Oof.
Oh.
Oof. Oof. Oh, your dad takes a shit ton of damage. He actually staggers down to 1 knee. But he's still alive. Your mother looks worried though. And now we are back up to top of the order with Reginald.
All right. Well,
Wait.
yeah.
I'm so sorry. Thorn, you were attacked. How would you like to retaliate? You said that you were holding your
yeah.
action.
I'm
I'm sorry.
I forgot to. So good catch. Yeah, Thorn. They're not. Are they within 30 feet? All right. Thorn is going to run up to the first one that she can get to, and is just going to use her attack action. I think that she like takes all of this damage and goes, "Okay, they're not friendly."
So, as you actually get face to face with this one, its eyes are glowing white. It has a helmet of ice. It has a breastplate of ice. These are like mini avatars. Um, in appearance only. They don't give off the same vibe that your father did. That aura of power. But something definitely fucked up about them. I apologize,
Low
but a
fucking
13
rolls.
does not hit.
Okay.
Just misses. I do like that you hit both ends of the spectrum there, though, for damage.
The dice are swinging wildly tonight.
Seems that way. All right, Reginald, I apologize for cutting you off.
No, it's fine.
How would you like to act?
I'm going to cast Fireball, but how many am I going to be potentially hitting here? Out of curiosity.
So at this point, I'm going to say 4 of them. Just because one of them would have veered off to meet Thorn head on, face to face, seeing that she was approaching.
Mm-hmm.
And the others would have clustered together after they had thrown their javelins to sort of form a pseudo shield formation.
All right, noted. So
They are
out
about 20 feet out at this point.
20 feet out. Got it.
Fuck, DC 14. And I gotta roll 4 fucking D20s.
Yep.
Pass. Fail. So 3 of them are gonna pass. That means they take half damage. Is that correct?
Correct. Yep.
Get my little tracker up here. So that's still 15 fucking fuck you, you fucking bitch.
I'm just doing the math counting real quick on my rolls because it looks like one of them still says 1, and it's supposed to be minimum 2 because it's evocation,
Okay.
fire. Just making sure. At most, it'll be 1 more damage, but let's see. 3, 6 is 9, 12, 14, 18, 22, 27, and then 2. Okay, good. So it is already doing it. Okay, we're good.
So you have critically afflicted them at this point. 2 of them fall prone. They are still kicking, but they are prone. 2 of them are still standing, although you can tell barely the force of the impact having taken a lot out of them. And then the one in front of Thorn has not been touched.
Okay. Well, I think that will be Reginald's turn, I think.
Which is going to bring us to Urk, who, similar to Thorn, is going to close the distance and swing on the 2 left standing from your fireball. with his great sword. He will hit on both. Actually, damage doesn't matter because they have 2 HP apiece. He brings both of them down into the ground. Utilizing his bonus action, I guess I should still perform the swing, right? He will swing on one of the other ones that is already prone. And he will hit, and they will cease moving as a piece of it flies off. The 2 that he brought down are still moving, it is to note. Lionel.
I guess I will go and deal with the 2 that are on the ground but still squirming and just end it. I will go up to the first one and try and hit it with a Thunder Gauntlet.
Roll your attack with advantage as it is prone.
22 to hit.
Yep.
Take 7
Splat.
points. Okay. And then I will go the next one. I'm not dealing with this bullshit where they get back up. I'm sorry.
Roll it.
14.
Just hits.
That's only 5.
Doesn't matter.
Okay. And that's my turn because I'm pretty sure that'll eat up all of my movement.
It's only 20 feet. You still have enough movement to at least close some of the
With-
distance to the one towards
with Horn.
yeah.
Okay. I'll start to close that distance then.
Very well.
And that'll be my turn.
I believe that brings us to Thorn.
Thorn's gonna hit it. Maybe actually hit it this time. Nope.
Nope. There it
Hooray!
is.
Okay.
And just for good measure, I'm also gonna put a smite on there to make up for the hits that I have not done.
The anger smite.
Yeah. Let's see.
Rubella's judging you. I want you to know.
That's fine. I think I'll burn a second level. Just because I can. It's because it's nighttime. What is that, Colt 3d8?
It depends on what level you're doing it at.
Second. I'm burning
Then
a
it's
second level
3d8.
spell slot. I thought it
It's
was,
3d8.
but I don't feel like going through all of this.
Yeah, it's 3d8. Kobolds are not a different creature type or evil, technically.
So an additional 21 points of damage.
I feel like it's probably down.
It's not.
It
Yeah.
took a significant amount of damage, though. It is.
Okay.
It is hurting. Something fierce.
Yeah, that's my turn. I could do a thing with my bonus action, but well. Yeah, I'll
Things
use.
gonna try and hit you, so.
Yeah, I know it's gonna try to hit me, but I don't have anything else to use as an attack other than spiritual weapon. I don't really want to use that. Like I could, but I don't want to. But I will use Draconic Cry, and give my allies advantage on attack rolls against the enemy until the start of my next turn.
Okay.
And assist.
A gust of wind blows, unfortunately, in your direction, carrying with it the smoke of the now burning and blazing at this point field. It
Not my fault, but also my fault.
it is nighttime, and things are starting to be lit up orange and red, but you're having a hard time seeing it through all of the thick smoke. I'm considering the rest of this battle obscured, not that there's much of it left at this point, but your father will not be taking his action. He is going to attempt to mend his wound. Your mother will be assisting in that endeavor. Vorel, however, has no one to look after, so she is going to try to finish the job. 5 will not connect. Neither will a 6. So both of her arrows manage to go wide, and she yells to you. She does not have advantage. Obscured. That is why I did that. um, she will holler out to the rest of you, "Finish the damn thing!" But it will be its turn. And being that you just did a massive amount of damage to it, what is Draconic Cry? Is that a spell or a feat?
It's a feature of being a kobold. It's a racial thing.
So it's just advantage on you and your friends.
Yes, my allies have advantage on anything that could have heard me within 10 feet. Any enemies that could hear me within 10 feet.
I understand. Does nothing for the dragon in front of you. He drops his weapon and reaches out and touches your head.
No, don't touch me, I'm biting.
He is making a grapple check against you at this point. So I just rolled what would have been a 22. I need a return roll.
What am I rolling? Just straight?
Athletics or acrobatics, your choice. You go to push the hand out of its way or out of your way, but it's stronger in this moment. Something seems to be empowering it. Its eyes are burning ever wider, and as it grabs onto your face, uh, you feel ice shoot through you. And now I would like you to make me a wisdom saving throw. You feel the corruptive influence of what you believe to be Tiamat at this point, uh, ensorcel your brain and ensorcel your mind, but you by yourself, without the um, intervention of any higher power or any warlock patron, fight it off yourself. And there is a exhausting roar inside of your mind. You're still going to suffer 1 point of psychic damage. But otherwise unaffected. And once the mental stroke has been delivered, that will be the enemy's turn, which will bring us full circle once again to Reginald.
Word. All right, so we got one mostly down in front of Thorn. We have 2
No more.
down on the ground. No more.
It's just the one in front of Thorn that's almost down.
Okay. I thought the other 2 were like partially down, but and then now it makes sense that they got taken down too. So,
Lionel,
okay.
yeah, Lionel handled those.
Yep. All right. So then, let's do. I will cast. I'll cast Ice Knife again. I don't want to go too crazy with high level spell slots right now. But that is a sorcerer spell again. In the event you want to use that. That's a much better hit.
How do you? What happens? It's dead, so kill it.
So I basically I conjure and conform a little shard of ice, shaped into kind of like a projectile, and then nail him, hit it in the face with it. Basically ice on ice action. So there's some shrapnel that goes off, but otherwise, it goes down like it just took a dome shot, and I'm sitting there just like, serves you right.
Doesn't Thorn take damage from that?
So you have to pass the dex check to see if you take damage from it or not.
Great.
Wait a minute. Don't you have spell shaping or whatever?
It only works on evocation magic, and this is conjuration.
Yeah.
Why
Dex
don't you
save.
say?
Kaboom.
Reginald really doesn't like Thorn.
5 cold.
Doesn't want to be her friend. Doesn't want to hold her hand. Hits her with ice.
At this point, you're not sure if the ice came from Reginald or or the dragons.
Thorn will remember this.
So, for aesthetic purposes, at this point, that knife goes through the skull of this kobold. A little blast of cold goes off, and the kobold flops backward with the weight of the throw. Urk's going to approach it because it's still squirming, writhing on the ground, grasping at the sickle inside of its skull, trying to wrench it out. The fire in its eyes still burning brightly. Urk says something in Draconic, which I believe all of you understand.
Yes, I do.
Oh, I gotta look it up. Hold on. Where is... Fuck. Son of a bitch. Bitch ass. He says in a very poetic fashion, lyrically, I guess I'll say, when you behold your reflection through the monster's eyes. And he, with his great sword, plunges it down into his chest. And the kobold is still. Retrieves his sword and moves to actually check on your father, Reginald, who is in a significant amount of pain.
I'm gonna start worrying about the fires that's going on in the field.
Good idea.
Yeah, Thorn would, after shaking off the mental headache and physical pain that she is now in, yeah, she'd see Lionel going to start taking care of that, and she goes to help too.
Man, I'm having a little bit of an internal struggle right now because I'm trying to decide if Reginald's character would be more concerned about the problem that he created or more concerned about just going to his father. But, I suppose he would probably choose his father. More pressing concern than the forest fire he's starting.
I mean, your dad started it technically, but
But I helped.
yeah. uh, as you approach, your mother has some medicine for your father, uh, a concoction that you're not familiar with, but she says she looks up at you as you approach and as Urk approaches and says, "He will be fine. Go take care of the flames. I have him. He's in good hands." And she proceeds to minister him. But your choice on whether or not you listen to your own mother.
I feel like Reginald would. He's in this point of this status of where he was like independently old enough to feel like he's making his own decisions, but at the same time he's still gonna listen to what his mom tells him, kind of thing. So,
Mama's
so he's
boy
gonna go.
guy.
He's gonna go. Yeah, he's gonna go work on the fire.
It's easy enough between the 3 spellcasters that go to take care of a fire to put it out. Um, no real harm done, just the smell of smoke and a little bit of heat. But ultimately, peace is restored, and you all can get back to rest if you so choose. Um, Reginald, as an aside, your mother will tell you that your father is sick, and that is why he had a different reaction to being attacked than anybody else did.
Fair enough. My father is sick. Concerning.
Not yet. But she will also tell you he does not want you to know, but I believe the poison probably was not the best for his constitution. So uh, just help me keep an eye on him in Axholm, and we'll try to make it out of there quickly.
He nods in agreement.
Well, Rubella and Reginald go back inside of the magic house. Urk returns to his tent. Um, and I assume the rest of you go to sleep.
Yes,
I
Thorn,
go
sleep,
to
please. Ow!
You sleep,
Thorn.
please.
Thorn doesn't get to sleep.
Fuck!
You are the last watch unless you're going to give it up.
Yeah, no, she'll stay up for a watch. She basically stays up and licks her wounds until she can go to bed.
You won't get to go to bed. You are the last watch.
Oh, that's right, I slept before my watch because it was, okay.
So,
I'll sleep on the cart tomorrow. It's fine.
hold on. Having seen that you have now taken damage, Urk will offer to resume his watch as he is totally unscathed.
Thorn politely declines. She's in kind of a weird headspace because it's just like not happy about having to kill tempered kobolds. She just like shakes her head and tells him no, like it's fine. She'll rest on the cart the next day.
Urk is totally unsatisfied with your answer and says, "Well, I'm gonna stay up anyway because I can. So if you're gonna stay up, do whatever you want, I guess. But you could just go to bed."
I think Thorn does not have the energy to fight him on this and just says, okay, fine. Thorn's going to go to bed then.
Yes. Everybody hit that long rest button.
Get my second little spell slot back. Yay. And my 36 fucking hit points that I lost.
Yeah, I lost 27, which was substantial in terms of my my health pool.
Yeah.
So
I'm out for blood.
So
hey, it is what it is.
Yep.
The rest of the evening is quiet, aside from the lowing of your new ox as it's still nervous from the smoke. But even that, if it keeps you up, you can hear Irk shushing it and being a nuisance around camp quietly. But morning does come. Reginald Sr. and Rubella do not come out of their hut until the sun is well into the sky, unfortunately. Which for Reginald may be a little bit alarming, but is what it is. Your father comes out and assures you that he is fine, that he just managed to sleep in after taking a blow to the chest like that. Um, Everybody else seems in good spirits. Vorl is busy killing, for lack of better things to do. She's just taking pot shots at rabbits and squirrels. And Irk is busy maintaining the camp. So, but ultimately, uh, you all make your way to Axholm. Bum, ba-da-dum. I can clear this now. How do I fucking do that? Clear. Clear! All right. Is Axholm map ready? I don't fucking know. Let's do it.
Let's find out.
I hope I did this right.
Well,
Everybody,
so
character
far so
check.
good. Yeah, so far so good. I can see my character. I can click on my character. I can move my character, and I have controlled vision based upon my character's view.
Excellent.
Yep, all good.
It was funny. I just listened to her tap tap on her keyboard, and it took like solid 3 seconds for her to elect
It
on
didn't
to
even
move
work.
on
It
my
didn't
end.
even work. I had to do it with the mouse.
Welcome to Axholm. I have some shit to read for you guys. All right, this is from the book. I'm sorry. Thrust out from the base of a dark gray mountain is the entrance to the Dwarven fortress, a dark 15-foot wide passageway flanked by 40-foot high bulwarks of smooth, seamless stone. An iron portcullis covered with rust blocks the entrance. Arrow slits carved into the bulwarks are dark, revealing no hint of occupation. So, before you, these little dots, that's the portcullis. You cannot get past it. It is closed. This is your first challenge. How are you going to enter Axholm? To the left and right, these little spaces here are arrow slits. If you are medium or larger, you cannot fit through them.
Well, that's going to be a problem for me.
What material is the wall made out of in front of us again? Is it just stone?
Stone.
Okay. Ba, 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 ba.
I would also like to
Spell.
remind you all that you guys did bring a cart full of tools if you so
Yeah.
try to break down the portcullis. Additionally, Thorn and Urk count as small.
Thorn was going to suggest that Thorn can go into the hole, but maybe check for traps first.
Let's say, can I investigate the portcullis to see if it even looks like it could be lifted up? Because this thing could be rusted in place too.
It is rusted, however, it is dwarven engineering. Just from what you know of dwarven make, usually holds up for centuries on end, even without maintenance. That being said, however, if you would like to know more,
Mm-hmm.
I will require an investigation check,
I will
which I believe
gladly
is
give it to you.
something that you are +7 in.
Yes.
Hopefully, he will. Yeah, okay, good. I was gonna say, hopefully, he's gonna roll higher than
So hopefully
an
he doesn't
8.
roll a 2, yeah.
So while the portcullis itself is rusted, you believe the gears and the chains will function appropriately. The only difficulty thus far would be squeezing somebody into either the left or right side there as
Mm-hmm.
Thorn moves around to figure out which or if both sides have the winch that would raise it.
I was gonna say it doesn't. I don't have any clues after investigating this of which side will have the winch. Correct.
There are 2 chains. You can only
Okay.
assume that there would be 2.
Okay. Oh, the gears and the chains will still work, so you and Urk could get in and use them. It should pull itself up. If the arrow slits are a bit of a problem for you guys to fit through, I
Thorn
just
is
pull out
already
my
trying to
alchemy jug.
scrabble into here.
Yeah, you say Irk, and you say squeeze through, and Irk goes through without listening to you go on. You hear
Well, it solves
from
that.
the arrow slit that Irk went into that he has found a wheel. I'm gonna turn it.
That's likely it.
Yeah, no shit.
Oh, wait and oh well.
Are you going to turn yours?
Yes.
I would
Okay.
like a athletics check. Oof. You try, and it almost budges, but you're just not strong enough. Urk, however, manages to raise it by himself 5 feet.
Oh, good for Urk.
So essentially, we could squeeze underneath it now.
You could, or you
Um,
could finish raising it another 5 feet.
Yeah, can I try to continue turning it?
Yep. Angry because Urk is stronger, you you manage to thorn yourself and and you hear
Just
the
kicks it.
scraping of some rust, and it just eats up another 5 feet.
Stupid wheel.
with it raised up, I will then walk in here and then signal for the others to follow behind. My first 2 steps reveal nothing coming at me.
Thorn pokes her head out from this arrow slit. It's just her head. Her ears just pop out.
Are you going to join us? I don't know where this door leads in front of me.
Thorn doesn't know either, but there's a hallway.
Yeah, there's stairs over here too.
And doors. Don't touch the doors.
What's wrong
Doors
with
are
doors?
doors are bad.
You're bad.
I will come to this door. Does it still look to be in good working order?
I mean, its hinges are fucked, but it's not something that will stop you from opening it. You can open it.
Okay, I'll go ahead and try and open.
Thorn wasn't expecting that and jumps.
All right. So,
I'll
just
try and
to
soothe Thorn like a cat. Okay. Okay. Lower the scales.
She's absolutely like crab position.
kind of like give you guys what you guys are actually looking at, right? So where
Hmm.
you just came in was the main thoroughfare, the main entrance slash exit to this fortress and this mountain. On either side, the arrow slits that Thorn and Urk crawled into to raise the portcullis. Inside of those, in front of each arrow slit, is a ballista. Um, Additionally, those bulwarks, the western and eastern bulwarks, do have stairs which lead up to the upper halls. The area that you just entered is a great hall. It has 40 foot high ceilings. Um, it is just a giant space. A thick layer of dust covers the flagstone floor. Um, in the middle of each wall is a is another set of double doors. Arrow slits are also set high up on the northern and southern walls.
Well, we're going to have to take this room by room to make sure that nothing's here and we don't miss anything. So, which door do we start with first? One on our left, one on our right, or the one right in front of us before we go upstairs?
Who has the highest passive perception?
Sure as fuck ain't me.
Yeah, I know.
My passive perception is 13.
Mine's 15.
Reginald,
What do your
uh,
elf eyes see?
you hear something. You're not sure what, but there's some kind of skittering or hissing going on.
Is there like a direction that I can hear that from?
If you want to know that, you'll have to roll me an actual perception check.
Yes, yes.
Fuck you. Yeah, it's coming from the left, the western direction. That western door. There definitely seems to be some sort of commotion on the other side. Also, there's a faint odor now that you are inside of this hall. It smells of corpse decay.
Well, this doesn't seem to be the best positioning for us currently, but something over here to the west appears to be clicking and clacking about. Some skittering noises potentially beyond the door, and well, let's just say the aroma coming from in here does not seem pleasant.
Well,
Oh, joy.
go ahead.
I was just going to say, oh, joy.
Irk pipes up with yeah, it smells like shit in here. Do we do we go investigate that first, or do you guys want to go circle around?
I say let's deal with the clicky clack first. We need to figure out what exactly it is.
Well, the rest of you are pretty squishy, so why don't you all stay away from the door?
Doors are bad.
Doors are how you meet new friends.
Doors are bad. You can't convince Thorn otherwise. Doors are bad. There are no doors outside. Thorn doesn't trust doors.
Urk makes his way up to the door, loosening the strap on his greatsword and putting it in a more ready position. But as he gets up to the door, he stops and he listens um, really closely to what's going on the other side of the door. And Lionel, even as you get closer, it's much more audible now. The stone kind of reverberating it a little bit, echoing in the silence. There is definitely something hissing and growling, muttering on the other side of this door. Sounds like several somethings, to be honest.
I'll hold up my 2 hands to indicate that there's like several things on the other side just to get people ready. Give them the chance to move about if they want to.
Well, since we're doing a pre-position, yes. All right. After watching everybody over his shoulder take their sweet ass time to get ready, Urk opens the door.
Close the door. Lock the door. Burn the door.
And that's where we're going to end.
I see parts.
Targets!
I see parts of things.
Fireball.
John's like, I see a bunch
Excited
of things
wizard.
that are bunched up.
Excited wizard noises.
Hooray! Bang!
Just so that you all understand what you're fighting, the foul stench of rotten, fetid meat immediately assaults you as the door is flung open. Inside, a bunch of red eyes and rotten, moving flesh turn to face you all at once as you see roughly 7-ish, maybe more, ghouls.
Delightful.
Burn
Of
them
dwarven
quickly.
stature.
Burn them quickly, please. We don't need them grabbing one of you squishy folks. Paralysis is bad.
I was serious though. We'll pick this up as combat for a later session.
Woo!
Sounds good.